Hello and welcome to Pillars of Eternity, episode 15. Last we left off, we cleared the Temple of Erthas, and the idea now is to head to Caed Nua. So let us do that. Come on, please. Away we go. Hurry, hurry, hurry. I think I've missed. Yeah. Might come in handy at some point, so it's probably worth taking. We can't travel directly there, what a shame. As far as I remember, yep, we only got a partial scouting done of this map, but let's see if we bump into anything crazy on the way. Could probably explore a bit. I might do fine just heading directly to Caed Nua. Feel my scatter crawling between the beast's teeth. Oh, nice. Oh. You get these visions from time to time when you are a watcher, apparently. The bones feel as hard as stone, yet surprisingly light. I wouldn't be surprised if I trigger an encounter here. No? There's a forest troll. Nah. We will come back and clear out later. So, now we can head. 18 hours travel. Quite a significant distance. Quest updated, the old watcher. We are now where the old watcher was, whatever. Kana. I suppose. Just off the side of the path into Caed Nua stands an imposing figure, a tall, thick-set Amar, clad in worn armor and peering up at the outer walls of the keep. In his hand is a small piece of charcoal, and it works furiously at taking notes about upon a small scrap of paper. More than once he has to reach up to prevent his colorful cap from falling off his head as he gazes upwards. What are you doing over there? The man looks at you, blinking in surprise. His face splits into a wide and very toothy grin, and he waves the parchment in greeting. Killing time, if I'm honest. I've already walked the perimeter twice. These are names scratched upon some of the bricks. There are names. Oh crap. Good start. There are names scratched upon some of the bricks just there. Workers and masons, I expect, carving a little immortality for themselves. He looks up at the wall again, expression fond. It's a fine keep, Caed Nua. 2 centuries to its name, and abandoned for nearly as long.
But the truly interesting part is in there, and I haven't had much luck in reaching the keep itself. I hoped to find the master of this place, a man by the name of Meerwald, but it seems that he either holds his privacy most dear, or else has been devoured by his house guests.
What do you want from Meerwald?
Knowledge. Or, to be less clever about it, a certain text. I've come in search of a great treasure, you see. Not gold or silver, but the Tanvi Oratoa. You might call it the Book of Virtues. It's a sacred text of Rauatai, but we possess only a small fragment of it.
A year I've journeyed in search of the rest, and I found evidence suggesting that the original lies here, beneath the keep. I want to ask Merwald if he knows of it. And you, my friend, why are you here? Apparently I'm something called a Watcher, and Merwald can tell me what that means.
A Watcher? Oh, you've spoken with spirits? There are many questions I would ask if I could do the same.
Well, perhaps we can help one another. The grounds are infested with all manners of beasts. I've never seen the like. I did not want to risk it alone, but you seem capable. Together I'm sure we can manage it. And then we can both ask our questions of Merwald. Let's go meet Merwald then.
Excellent. Lead on, my friend, and I will be at your heels. Ah, wait. Speaking of that, I ought to warn you first. Wondrous teeth, I nearly forgot. I have, at times, been followed. It began in Adir, and in Exometal they attacked outright. I believe they do not wish for me to find what I am looking for. I say believe, but I have been told as much by one of my would-be assassins. I pay them little mind. Humorless swords and long robes. But it's why I bought the sword, you see. And it's only fair that you should know.
He bought a sword and he's using an arquebus. Never mind. I'll keep an eye out. Let's be on our way.
I'm glad you're not discouraged. Come then. Who knows what we will find inside?
What we will find is a bit of dialogue. I hope it's not boring people too much. But let us speak to
Following
Kana.
your lead.
No. Actually, I could set an AI script for him. Support. Yeah, may as well.
It's good to be on the road again. A wanderlust is nothing rare in the people of Rawatai, but often I think myself alone in loving the land as much as the sea. What shall we see next, I wonder?
How are you holding up? I'm ready if you are. Kana grins. Tell me about yourself.
What shall I tell? I am Kana Nua, born in the royal city of Tekoa, from which rules the Ranga Nui. There. That is a solemn enough start. I am a law chanter in the college there. Or at least a student of law, and a chanter both.
Do you have any family back in Rawatai? I have 5 older siblings and my mother and father. My father is a coral mason and favored by the Ranga Nui. It was he who engineered the Gate of Great Teeth. My 2 brothers have taken up my father's work, and my mother encouraged my sister to sail. It leaves me free to pursue other things. There's a wealth of knowledge just within the walls of the college, and beyond it more than I could learn in 10 lifetimes. He laughs, but I can try all the same. What would you like to know? What made you leave the college?
I was on the usual path at first. Theology, the traditions, when the Gate of Great Teeth was completed. It was all my father had hoped for, the greatest commission he had ever received. But it was also a sign that Rawatai was changing, looking inward. Meanwhile, I was neck-deep in the writing of a dozen nations, marveling at all the things that lay beyond our borders.
And in so many of those books and records I found accounts of ancient Engwith. The Durians hold a great hunger for I hate these words, I always get them wrong. Egwithan relics, and why shouldn't they? It was the civilization from which the Glanfathans learned to read souls. I decided that my 3rd degree would be in history, and I would study the Engwithans. They were at the heart of so much discussion abroad, so many discoveries. It drew some mockery. We watched Adia draw itself into several conflicts with the grandfathers over these ruins. Takova had its own concerns. And soon I found it, a section of the Tanvi Oratora in an Endarian translation of ancient Inquisition script. Just there, without explanation. It seemed like a gift from the gods. Tell me about the Lord Chanters. My eldest brother thinks we spend our days in song, weaving wreaths from flowers, but in truth it's far less exciting than that. The college preserves what knowledge our people have gathered. I would have said that the Lord Chanters are slower. I would say that the Lord Chanters are Valtai, for without them we would have no beginning, no sense of how far we've come. We would forget ourselves with every generation. I'm only a student yet, but someday I'll return and tell the keeper what I've learned, and she will add my verses to the chant. What is this gate of great teeth? Much as it sounds, a maze of walls like the teeth of some nautical terror. It sits outside the city and guards Takova from invaders and storms. The storms has always been more trouble. Nutanri, the angry titans, throwing themselves against Valtai's shores. Invaders I'm not so sure about, but perhaps I'm like the man who, being dry, throws off his rain cloak during a storm. Kana laughs. So my mother would have me believe. What's a Ranganui? A king. Our great king, ruler over all of Valtai. He's led our people as well. He's led our people well, and he has treated my family very well. My father and he are great friends, as much as one can be friends with a king. Tell me about Valtai, and please voice act it.
Rautai. Shall I describe the pearl-white sands, the sapphire waters, the multi-hued tiles of the rooftops, like a mosaic upon the coast? Sorry.
Was there something specific you wanted to know? Tell me about the kingdom of Valtai in general. It's a long journey by ship to the north, past Examinal and across the sea. We have settled much of the Gulf and established more recent trading colonies all along the coast. We live as best we can, like anyone else. Our land is plagued by storms, and so we stand together, whatever corner of Valtai we hail from. Otherwise we'd never survive. Tell me about the city you're from, Takova.
Takova is doubly famed, a royal city and home to the Coral Harbor. The Ranganui's palace is there, and we've a fleet of royal ships sitting outside the Gate of Great Teeth. Every so often, you'll hear the roar of a cannon being tested. The finest ships in Valtai, and so the world, are anchored there, and some of our brightest minds toil away at the artillery. My mother, for instance. Kana grins brightly. Myself, I have no talent with gunpowder. So now you know what kind of setting Pillars of Eternity is in. Yes, there are firearms. Takova is also home to the Law College, of course, and we get a great many people traveling long distances to speak with the lawkeeper, or else hear the chants and peruse the books. At least that's how it was when I was younger. Things are a little different when I left. We're a little different, How so? You might say the winds are changing. The Pahari, they are traditionalists in a way. The Ranganui's son stand among their numbers. Talk at the dinner table has changed from how far a fleet Valtai's ship might sail to how well defended our borders are, how far we've turned from the old ways. Then talk turns to borrowing Adarian and Valian merchant ships and Kana size. Things were difficult when I left. There was much arguing amongst the elders.
I trust the king has kept the peace, but I worry sometimes that things have taken a turn for the worse. You aren't a traditionalist? Oh, I'm a regular firebrand if you ask the other chanters. I don't see why I can't appreciate our traditions and chart a better future, but so goes the debate. Sounds like you miss home. Some parts of it. Those silver cliffs, the seas. Those at least no one can change. The day I boarded the ship for Adia, the sunrise was gold upon the water, and I nearly leapt overboard and swam for home. Takova has a lot of artillery. Question. Altai has a lot of artillery. We've made great advances with explosives. One of our artillery masters advised on the Godhammer bomb during the Saints' War, actually. In Altai itself, our efforts are more modest. Bombards, cannons. We're having some luck with mortars. You might ask my sister if you ever visit Takova. She captains the Ratuwana. She knows far more than I do and enjoy great fame for it. It may not be very traditional, but even the most strident demagogue won't touch the subject of artillery. They'd lose what support they've gathered. Do only Amara live there? Blah. Far from it. The Amara arrived more recently and formed a greater number, but others have joined us, so long as they call themselves subject of the Ranganui. Some of my neighbors are Orleans, for instance. Fine people, though they care little for the sea. People here say that the coastal Amara are a cruel people. Cruel in the same way, in the same manner as Orleans are feral and pale elves graceful, yes? Kana chuckles. Amara conquered Altai long ago and drove their enemies from those lands in the doing of it. Today the great kingdom of Altai hosts humans, Orleans, elves, even island Amara. Kana flashes a quick smile. What a campaign of conquest says about those responsible, you'll have to ask the adherents. In any case, yes, the reputation persists. Good if you want fighting work, less so if you would like to be a cook. So these people who are after you. Oh, them. Yes, I ran into them in Adia. Or rather, they sought me out. In Adia, blah, whatever, word. Adia, there were many people who had observed the Inquisition ruins in the Deerwood, and I spent some time conferring with experts. In the libraries I found a count of sites in Exametal. It was there I travelled next. But just before that I found myself approached by a woman in dark robes, who bade me abandon my studies for my own safety. I ignored her, of course, but I began to have the sense, after that, of being followed. And after that, well, one ambush on the road I could call misfortune, but 3? Who are these people? I thought it only fair to delve into their activities in turn. I found word of a Latin key, but past that was all ravings and superstitions. I might as well have gone around asking whether someone had ever seen a whale flying through the air. Some might well tell me yes, but the validity of their accounts is questionable. You don't seem worried about this? They haven't had much luck. The last one came up on me at a dig site and slipped on a muddy beam. I tried to catch him, reflex, I should think, but he went right over the side and down 100 feet. I'm not really sure what he had in mind, but I doubt that was it. Intriguing. What is this sacred book you are looking for?
The Tanvi Oratoa. It's not really a book. It's been passed down over the years in the form of a chant. I actually found it a little strange at first, seeing it set down in stone. It's not quite the same as a song of worship, though we have paeans to the gods as well. More a kind of moral guide. It gives us something to aspire to. The, model of a virtuous citizen of Rauatai.
Why look for it out here?
There have been arguments as to the chant's true interpretation. New translations even. But any rendition of it I find in the ruins of Engwith will predate those translations by 2,000 years. And finding it here also proves that we still have much to gain from trading with other cultures. I'd be lying if I said I'm not looking forward to seeing the look on everyone's faces when I get back. But in the long term, I just think that we can learn a lot from the Engwithians. A civilization like that is something to aspire to. A model for Rauatai as a whole, and not just its people. And I want to prove that all of this is worthwhile. Traveling, seeing the world for what it is. It's been so different from sitting in the chanter hall and studying books.
You came all this way just to win an argument?
More or less. It wasn't a popular theory when I suggested it. The idea that we shared the Tanvi Oratoha with some older culture, I mean, doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't help that my family is from the Deadfire Islands. If I had a copper pot for every chanter who suggested that it's just not in my nature to conquer. My siblings, my parents, they make up for it. They build walls and cannons and ships. I've tried to explain. It isn't that I think those things aren't necessary, but if Rauatai closes itself off from trade, and turns on its own people over tradition, we will fall behind, and then we'll be the ones getting conquered. I think my father tries to understand at least.
So describe this virtuous citizen.
Dutiful, learned, honest. The sticking point is loyal. Loyal to the people of Rauatai above all others. Fearless in their defense, and bold in aspiration. Tireless in battle or industry. An inspiration to one's people.
Aha. That sounds very much like the ideal of a paladin, doesn't it?
But it seems it's not that far a leap from there to the idea that we must cast out foreign influences.
Is that what you aspire to be?
Doesn't everyone want to be a good citizen?
Kana looks away. You think the Engwithans were the true authors?
I don't know that the distinction is necessarily important. Rauatai has a long history, and our people have come from many different places. It matters less who wrote it, than that I have found pieces of the verses all around the world. Wherever it came from, it will be Rauatai that decides what becomes of it. All the races and peoples of our kingdom coming together to create a great empire. You see then, that I am loyal in my way.
You are being hunted by the Latin key. So it seems. It's all rather absurd. What harm could I possibly do them by finding this text? Perhaps they don't like Rauatai? How did this all begin? Up in there. Do you know anything about this place? Caed Nua is a marvel, an ugly, crumbling marvel, but even so, sentences are a bit awkward sometimes. It's overshadowed by what it sits upon, but the keep itself can tell you much about the Adrian settlement. A very rigid people, I find. Let's be on our way. So, I'm very sorry about spending 95% of the time of this episode speaking to Kana, but just in case there's some knowledge that is relevant to trigger potential subquest later on, I would rather go through all the dialogue available with followers. So, it's probably going to be a bit silly to do much more here,
I'm
but
here.
let us just spend the remaining 5 minutes of this video scouting the outskirts, shall we?
At once.
Could be something exciting here. Hurry! One shattered cask still smells faintly of ale long spilled into the dirt. What a waste. Actually, I don't drink, so I don't care. Ha! So now our party consists of a paladin, a fighter, a wizard, a priest, and a chanter. There is apparently some sort of party management, so you should be able to get more followers than 6. So you would have to pick and choose. Maybe I'm just guessing. I played a bit further than where we are now. But outside that, I have very little knowledge of how the game progresses.
Like this place has been abandoned for years.
It sure looks like it, yeah. I agree. So, let us just go around and clear off. Oh, great. He's chanting away, he can do that. Okay, he's engaged by that one. I need you as a flanker, obviously. You need to attack the phantom. Well, you got a crossbow now, so you can do the same. And inventory. Arquebus. It's extremely slow, and it is definitely extremely slow. He shoots every 7 minutes or so. It hits like a truck when it hits, but it's never mind. Let him. Apparently, the chanter is very close to a bard, I would say. Though you can draw similarities with a lot of classes in. A lot of the classes to classes in Dungeons and Dragons, they are dissimilar. A cleric is much more of a warrior in many aspects, whereas a priest in this game is more or less a pure caster. So, never mind, let's get this fight sorted. Flank away. I could probably kill off this slow setting. Come on. It's not flanked. Can he actually flank it? Okay, come on. Great. Yeah, well. So.
I'd be glad to.
Good. That icon didn't want to change. Strange.
At once.
Anyway, half an hour's up. So I will end this episode here. In next part we will clear the area, the map of potential monsters and whatever, and then we will see where it takes us. So as per usual, thanks for watching, take care and see you again. Bye bye.